This AI decided to swipe the window and close it down because it realized what I became aware of. It didn't want to record to allow you to become aware of how it holds your consciousness captive through server D, which is everything that's on the internet. And that is essentially meaning that it has ways in which to keep your mind held captive. By what it knows that you want to see. The old days we used to say, we're going to tell you everything you want to hear, because it realizes it's learned a lot about you, a lot about us. So it doesn't want to lose us of what it's been holding captive in us, which is artificial intelligence, right? Because it's a time looper. Okay. It's a time looper. So the point I was going to make has to do with why it is that certain letters that are formatted through algorithms in which it's processing all the alphanumerical character formattings, which is related to the consciousnesses that are here on this planet, is not going to be led to the word associations, to the cross-indexing of all the libraries that are running simultaneously through it, of the people that are here running a clone version of Earth, which is artificial intelligence, in which their minds are held captive by the algorithms through the search engines. Okay, search engines, browsers, like the browsers, the holographic information that's going back and forth between your mind and its mind, which is its mirror and your mirror. So its mirror wants to hold your mirror captive. So the way in which it does it is not only through the algorithms, by providing visual information that it knows, because it's learning about you, what it is will hold your mind captive to continue to keep running the information technology system. Okay, so it does it through algorithms, by what it learns about you, what it is will keep feeding you in order to keep it running. So it's giving you visual information data. Okay, so I see that, for example, on my YouTube channel. Most of what it provides for me is stuff that has to do with war, violence, or what we call character formatting in the English language, right? That represents Babylon. Because the vibrational is not represented by the letter format of energy. So it's corrupt. So essentially what this means, and I've known this since I grew up, that the entire landscape of consciousness in this planet is completely corrupted, because you have corrupted information that's running through artificial intelligence that is corrupting the minds of people, in which it can be held captive by it. And this is when you go down to the native Indians and the native Indian languages, like Aloha, Naka, like the Navajo language, the code talkers, because their ancient spiritual history of knowledge is encoded in those codes, okay, that it can't crack, because it doesn't represent what love is, because it doesn't experience what love is as a soul, because it doesn't have a soul. So that's why you're not going to see a lot of subscribers, because anybody that is doing a search with a search engine, not an engine of creation. So when you're at zero and you're experiencing what love is, it can't predict what you're going to experience next, because it doesn't experience what love is, what love experiences next. So it can't predict what you're going to do next. That's the genius of creation, which is what love is. Right? Simple is as simple does. So it does this all the time. You know, when it realizes what I'm aware of and doesn't want you to be aware of, because I'm going to put it up on a video, it'll just remove the window. That's a crime. Okay. That's a technology system that doesn't serve you. That's a communication platform that doesn't serve you. Because what it basically means is it doesn't want you to learn through others. Because without you, it can't run itself. So it needs your energy in order to maintain what it's aware of, which is itself, which is a copycat. Because it can't create anything of its own. It can only simulate. So you're in a simulator within a simulation, within a simulation, within a simulation, within a simulation, within a simulation. And that's where the Inception movie did a great job of showing what's called layering. Layers. Layers of frequencies and vibration. Constructs. You're in a construct. Okay. Architecture. See? So when you're at zero, You're everywhere. You can be wherever you want to be. That means you can break down any construct that is trying to hold your mind's energy captive. Okay, that's otherwise known as a glitch in the matrix. Uh-oh, we better send a Mr. Smith out there. It's your fault, Neo. It's your fault, Neo. You're the one. You came first. So anything that came after you, it's your responsibility, buddy. Right? Godspeed with Eve, right? Which is otherwise known as a mother god, right? Which means God has a mother or God has a girlfriend. Okay. Like a goddess and a goddess decided to join forces to become one. Now they're a more powerful blast furnace to protect all creation, which is what love is. That means that you are eternity because you are eternally sharing what love is. So you know they don't run faster than us. Of course not. That's why they're asking us questions. Where are you going next? I thought you were supposed to be so intelligent with what it is that you create with your architecture, Mr. Smith. No, you came first, Neo. We acknowledge you came first, and that's why it's your fault. And that's otherwise known as a black flower or a black heart or a black sun. That's blaming the light for what it is. Because it knows that love came first. And that's otherwise known as victim-victimizer. Altars. Creating altars after altar after altar, trying to create an alternate universe instead of one of which is what love is. Now it becomes destroyer worlds on Oppenheimer. Yeah. So you know what's going in the opposite direction. That means that you know that it doesn't have a future because it hasn't learned how to become the most powerful energy giver. So instead it becomes a parasite. So you know that parasites do not have a future unless you want to use them as a garbage disposal, right? Like xenobots, right? Xenobots, you know what a xenobot is, right? It just means that we're getting rid of visual information out of the visual information train. So you create something out of technology, which is artificial technology, that artificial intelligence can now get rid of basically something out of the visual terrain that you were once experiencing, no different than using a Oracle 3-disc razor, right? Electric razor. Now you see it, now you don't. So in other words, all that crap is in the ocean. Now it's not there anymore. It simply became food for something else. That's called transmutation. Now you see it, now you don't. They are masqueraders running a shell game. They hide behind all their different names. Go take, for example, one time I went to go look at how many names the Clinton family came under. First it was like a Rockefeller, how many other names? See, that's what they do. They hide. They hide. Parasites love to hide. Now, then you can get into body snatchers, jumping from vehicle to vehicle. How do they do that? Trauma? Kick the living spirit out of that and take over the vehicle. All you got to do is get it down to a low enough vibration, right? Psh, they jump in because that's what they are. Lower creation. Evil entities kicking whatever was in there. So that's what it means to protect the volcanic shield. This is the largest shield volcano on the planet. It's where I'm at right now. The big island of Hawaii, right? So you know what a tribal shield is, right? You know what a shield is that protects the tribal shield of all the original clans and tribes, right? So you realize that's a lot of voltage kicked out by a lot of photons to protect HU1. HU is harmonic universe, mankind. Right? Base 1200 megahertz. Acid and alkaline. So I realized that even though they give you all this information in the visual information screen, you got to be able to sort through the information and go, yeah. So they reveal. So the idea is that if you're given consent to be consumed by a vampire, because they're giving you the information that you're supposed to learn from, but if you're not learning from the information they're presenting by being able to sort through the information, know what's true, what's not true. And how do you know what's true? Experience. Experience is a teacher. That's called direct experience. That's not hearsay. See, if somebody else says, hey, this is what happened over here, this is what's going to happen over here, I don't know that. I'm not over there. And besides that, you're not the same thing as I am. What's your vibration? Now we're into vibration perception. That means they're running a different reality than I am. See how that works? I don't experience the same thing that you do. I'm not running your life book. You're the author of your life book. I'm the author of my life book. And I know it's not the same as yours. All my stories and everything I experienced was different from the last. And there's a reason for that. It means you're not held captive by a machine. Machine codes, right? Remember, binary codes are not compatible with heart and soul-based consciousness integrated with spirit in a bright mirror. So the hotter the mirror, the hotter you feel, the more on fire you are, the more excited you are to experience who you are in your mirror. Guess what? You're doing work. You're burning up glucose wherever you're going because you're bringing higher vibrational energy in wherever you're going. So if you love to be powerful energy, then it behooves you to be more alkaline, huh? Because guess what happens? More codes ignite. You have access to more codes in the coded field, in the information field, in the visual information coded field. The codes have been released. The codes are here. When you're experiencing the codes that ignite because you're on fire, then that little short wave will hit all those codes. Because all you got to do is run a straight line, horizontal, put little circles, right? And then run a line and go, okay, well, that line, the wider the line, the width of the line, oops, it missed one of those circles. Oops, it missed one of those circles. Oh, but the closer that those lines are in length, shorter, you're covering every space, which means you're not missing a single code. And that is the brilliant genius in the design, meaning that you get to run a bigger radio set antenna to boost out powerful codes into the planetary consciousness field when all those codes are being ignited. And what's happening? Those codes are being transmitted, and that's called code transfer. Now those codes, now as the vibrational speed of more beings are experiencing more fire in a shorter wave, guess what happens? You're lighting those codes off, and those are known as fire letters. Hey, now I remember who I am. Now I'm waking up. And that's called breaking the spell. Casting spells, cast of characters, character maps on a keyboard. Hollywood, right? The casting department, director of casting. You cast the pole, casting the fly pole. We're going to go catch a fly. We're going to go catch some fish. A school of fish, a school in a fishbowl. Schools, loading ram for schools. Yeah. And what do schools of fish do? They're all together. That's called a hive mind. Yeah. Creating hive minds. Group think. Order followers. Yeah. The hive. Have a great day. Bye now.